Welcome to episode 73 of the 3M Fear podcast. Imagine you love exploring horror houses, and that is where you come across this place called McKamey Manor. Promises to give you the perfect experience that you want. They promise you that your experience is going to be scary because it is going to include all the things that you're scared of. And now you couldn't be happier. But upon reaching McKamey Manor, you find out that something is not right. And as you start this horror experience that they had promised you, you begin to realize that the truth is far from reality. This episode will take you behind the scenes of McKamey Manor and what exactly takes place there. Hello and welcome to the 3am Fear podcast. I'm Nikita Ferrao, mystery and thriller author. On this podcast, I talk about real crimes and real people. Due to the graphic nature of some of this content, listener discretion is advised. You can find the episode show notes on my website 3amfear.com. Let's get started. But before we get into McKamey Manor, we have to get into the story of the creator of McKamey Manor, Russ McKamey. Before we get started with this episode, be warned. The content ahead includes descriptions of disturbing events such as waterboarding, being buried alive, strangled, and so much more. I've tried to keep graphic descriptions as less as possible, but with McKamey Manor, there is only so much that you can hide. From a very young age, Russ was fascinated by Halloween and entertaining people. This passion led him to explore haunted houses. In college, he participated in theater and he dreamt of being a showman. His love for Halloween didn't fade away. In fact, he even joined the Navy, and there he would organize these Halloween hunts, and everyone loved them. After serving in the Navy, when Russ returned to his home in San Diego, he began hosting these so-called home haunts. That is, haunted house, but in his own house. These were usually very simple. They had basic decorations like cobwebs and skeletons, and everyone loved these haunted houses. You know, the DIY ones? The place where he lived, high-budget haunted houses were rare. Most of the people got these cheap decorations and they would put in their houses. So it was not uncommon when Russ started doing these and started organizing these haunted houses, and everyone loved them. But of course, there were safety regulations, and so Russ had to be careful that he would not cross the line. In the beginning, Russ started with basic setups at his house, like scary hallways. He would have a few zombies or skeleton props. He would even have kids chase visitors with fake chainsaws. The setup was simple and effective. Everyone loved it and they wanted more. In 1995, we see the beginning of McKamey Manor. What started as a small home-based haunt gradually expanded. Russ started preparing months in advance. He would open entries for Halloween week. He hired more actors, even including high school students. And that is when he started making these things scarier and scarier. And of course, it is not just him. The people who participated wanted him to make it scarier. And so they would ask him to do something more exciting the next time. Initially, Russ started with small props, but then he turned into complex machinery. Instead of just using a scary mask, visitors would now see a giant spike on the wall or a giant spider. As McKamey Manor grew, So did its intensity. By 2008, the haunted house expanded from being open to just 1 week to the entire month of October. Before, Russ would have simple, creepy hallways to scare people, but now the production level had gone up. McKamey Manor took things to an extreme level. For McKamey Manor, it wasn't just about being scared. It was about creating this lasting experience. Visitors were not just touched or startled, or you know how zombies just pop out of nowhere and they scare you and then they go back. No, this time they were grabbed, locked up in coffins, and subjected to extreme scenarios like even being thrown into freezing water. Russ McKamey even built a metal cage where participants were handcuffed and repeatedly pushed into water, pushing the limits of fear. As years went on, McKamey Manor's experience became more and more intense. The scares were not just about being pushed into cold water. They were dunked multiple times. Participants were blindfolded. They would have live tarantulas and bugs moving over them. One of the main things about McKamey Manor was that there was no guaranteed escape until the entire experience was over. So you can't just get up and say, I'm gonna leave this place because I'm too scared. You can't. You have to complete the experience. Now, the reaction among the crowd was split. Some people swore that they would never come back again after the horror that they went through, while the others said that they were excited and they wanted to come back and needed something more. By 2024 to 2025, McKamey Manor expanded to a new facility on a farm near San Diego. However, this time, the city imposed a cease and desist order. That means Russ had to be careful about safety measures, which he did not do before. It is believed that this was mainly because some of the residents were complaining about getting injured. And with the fear that the law would be against him, Russ decided to change his attraction. The result was a new project called The Chamber, and this project began around 2015 or 2016. Now, unlike the previous haunted house, the Chamber operated every weekend year-round. Participants had to contact the McKamey Manor, schedule an experience, and then they would be put into groups or as an individual. This new version focused on the torture rather than just the initial scares, like the zombie props or the skeletons. It would start with blindfolding and then shoving, escalating to slapping, waterboarding, haircuts, and forced consumption of disgusting items. Imagine being fed disgusting items. The goal was to push participants to their last limits to see when would they break. But of course, not to harm them, to give them an experience that they signed up for. Now, because of this, McKamey Manor completely changed. The experiences of McKamey Manor include all types of torture. Participants were blindfolded, pushed into freezing cold water, and subjected to various forms of abuse. This level of violence was not only known to the public, but many of them signed up for it. No one knows why. As we go on, I'll be talking about 3 people who suffered the most under McKamey Manor, or at least the 3 people who came forward and spoke about their experiences in the McKamey Manor. But for now, let's continue with this. One example is YouTuber Gabs, who thought that she was signing up for a standard haunted house, but she ended up with far more than what she had signed up for. And one of the worst things about McKamey Manor back then was that it had no safe word. If you wanted to escape, you couldn't. You had to keep going. Now you might wonder, how could any of this be legal? Now the answer lies in these few key points. First, Russ McKamey never charged money for anything. Participants had to bring a 50-pound bag of dried dog food, which Russ used to support local animal shelters. or at least that's what he said. This setup meant that McCamey Manor was not a business. It was just a place where Russ was giving the experience that people wanted. And because of this also, it did not have to follow all the regulations that other businesses had to. Secondly, participants had to sign a waiver before entering. This waiver included language that removed McCamey Manor from liability for injuries or extreme experiences. Now, usually in amusement parks or haunted houses, you have waivers that say that, if an accident takes place, then this person is not responsible, etc. But when it came to McCamey Manor, their waiver said specific things like if you're being punched or if you're being scratched, you're being waterboarded, we are not responsible. Now, no one has a physical copy of this waiver. I don't know why anyone has not shared it yet, but someone uploaded a short digital version of it. And after some time, I will be reading from that digital version and tell you exactly what is there. It is not the complete waiver, it is just a short digital version. And I will also be linking it in the description. So if you want to read it, you can go and read it. I found it in a Reddit post and I cross-checked it online, and it is 100% original. That is the waiver that Russ McCamey was giving to his people. Now, of course, McCamey Manor had its own controversies, but despite all of this, it continued to operate. Russ McCamey wanted to show the people that he was running this, even as they threatened legal action. Now, when it got worse, Russ started implementing stricter requirements. Participants now needed a doctor's note and proof that they had no health issues before they entered the McCamey Manor. In late 2016, McCamey Manor faced trouble from California state authorities over some unpaid fees. To escape from these problems, he moved his operation to Summertown, Tennessee. The move was partly because Tennessee's laws were different. Unlike California, Tennessee's law allowed participants to withdraw their consent at any time during the event. As a result, Russ now was forced to implement a safe word. To attract people to this new location and boost interest, Russ said, "I will give $20,000 as cash prize to anyone who will complete this entire experience." This prize made McCamey Manor even more exciting, as it promised a huge amount at the end. Now, even the people who were not sure that they wanted to do this because, of course, they were going to get paid just for several hours of torture. Despite moving across the country, Russ was now having almost 17,000 plus people waiting to participate in McCamey Manor just because they wanted to win this $20,000 cash prize. With this, Russ changed the entire idea of McCamey Manor. Each participant was now going to get a highly personalized experience, tailored to their specific fear. If you had a fear of spiders or cockroaches, then he was going to put spiders and cockroaches on you. The manor also had a longer waiver now, almost 40 pages. This waiver was going to go in detail on every single thing that you're going to experience in that manor. Now, the best part for Russ in all of this was that he didn't think that anyone was going to sit and read this 40-page waiver. And I don't think a lot of people actually sat and read a 40-page waiver. I think they just signed it and they thought, I'll go through whatever was there. They have a safe word. If I want to get out, I'll get out in the middle. Or if I win, I'm going to get $20,000. I have nothing to lose. Now, as I said, a small version of this waiver was leaked online, so I'll shortly be reading it for you. I'll just explain briefly about the waiver. You can read the waiver online. I'll link it in the description. Point 49 says that participant understands that they may be exposed to carbon monoxide poisoning when they use artificial fog. Point 50 says that the participant understands that they will not be quitting unless there is some serious physical or psychological injury. Point 51 says that participant understands that injuries may occur during the tour, which may include head, neck, back injuries, death, stroke, traumatic brain injury, brain aneurysms, etc. There is a whole list right in point 51 itself. Point 52 says participant fully understands and agrees that being scared, having a panic attack, etc. does not count as a serious injury. Point 53 says that the participant fully understands and agrees that the tour may include hypodermic needles, zappers, tasers, or even dog shock collars. Point 55 states participant fully understands and agrees that various fluids like food coloring, grease, theatrical blood, or any other liquids may be placed in the participant's mouth. Point 66 states participant fully understands and agrees a nail may pierce their hand. Point 67 says participant fully understands and agrees that their hand may be smashed with tools. Point 71 says participant fully understands and agrees that choking may occur and that gagging or vomiting may occur. Point 74 says that participant fully understands and agrees that they may have a plastic bag or plastic wrap on their face which could possibly cause suffocation, blackouts, etc. and the participant will not hold McCamey Manor responsible. I don't know why would someone say yes to all of this. So the only thing that I can think of is that people were not reading this document. I know it's 40 pages, but I don't think that people were reading this, or they were just thinking that maybe it was not that serious, or that $20,000 was too much for them and they really wanted that $20,000. There are several more points. I don't think I can read any more as they are going to get worse and worse. So I have already linked it. You can read the document anytime. So overall, the waiver has multiple extreme and potentially dangerous scenarios. Almost anything scary or dangerous that you can think of, it is there in the waiver. The waiver at one point even talks about being in the haunted house for about 36 hours straight. However, later on people would find out that the waiver was just a scare tactic. That is, a lot of things were put in, but they were not actually used. For example, the safe word. Many people have said that they have screamed or even said the safe word multiple times, but the organizers did not stop. Now, at one point in the document, it is also written that they may use drugs or they may cause severe harm. But to be honest, can they actually do it legally, even as a haunted house? I don't think so, that in the US they can do that. That also may not be true. Russ McCamey gave this idea or this illusion that you're going to step into a house which would give you a life or death situation. You had to fight for your life, and if you won, you got a big grand prize. But did it actually give that experience? Many believe that the McCamey Manor was just about creating that experience. That is, before you even entered the house. It was all about showing you this huge waiver and scaring you off. And that was their main goal. Around 2016 to 2019, when McCamey Manor was at its peak, so were the critics. There were online petitions to shut it down, and a subreddit was there criticizing Russ McCamey. During this time, Russ's behavior shifted, and he became more bitter and defensive. One example for this was a video that he uploaded called Portrait of a Mole, and this was uploaded to McCamey Manor's original YouTube channel. And yes, McCamey Manor does have a YouTube channel. You can go and watch it, but I would say otherwise. Please don't watch it. It has video footages of all the tortures that they have done over the years. So in this 6-hour video, Russ claims that a participant was actually a mole that was sent by his critics to gather information about the manor. That is, an outside person who's trying to get inside information. Now, Russ made this participant go through a lot and treated him harshly. When the participant used the safe word, Russ continued to torture for 3 more hours, causing severe physical damage. At the end of the video, Russ posted the clip of the participant named Jeremy claiming that he was a hater trying to take Russ down. But there was no evidence that Jeremy was a mole or that he was trying to take Russ down. It all seemed like it was in Russ's head. The McKamey Manors Facebook group is heavily guarded, but D'Angelo Wallace managed to get in and see some of the contents, revealing how strange the things were behind the scenes. It was strange that Jeremy, who was a mole who may have wanted to collect proof, would go through all of this torture to collect proof. It also seemed weird that Russ would show all of this torture online because he is literally putting himself in legal trouble by showing that he was beating a person up even after the person used the safe word and begged to be let go. Because of this, some people speculated that maybe Russ had paid Jeremy extra money so that he would go through all of this torture, and Russ would show that he was trying to catch a mole, and Russ would get a good video out of it, Jeremy would get some money, and overall McKamey Manor would be famous. If this is fake, this is not the only thing that is fake. In some of the videos, Russ sometimes used fake props, like for example a fake tooth in a dental scene. He made the participant believe that he was plucking out the tooth, but actually it was a fake tooth. The same goes for fake fingernails. Imagine someone tying you down, making you feel as if they are plucking out your fingernail, only for you to realize that it was a fake fingernail. There was also a rumor that Russ streams these experiences live and even takes bets from people in Vegas. However, this is not confirmed, so we are not sure about it. It may actually just be an illusion. Also, we have to know that all the video or any equipment that was used was just basic equipment, and Russ was not having a full-on production going on, even now. Now, another one of the manipulation that Russ used was that he claimed that there were real crocodiles in water, but in actual, there are no crocodiles in Tennessee. This was just to scare people. And finally, coming to the $20,000 reward for completing McKamey Manor. Now, many people believe that there was no $20,000 reward because no matter how much people tried, no one actually won this prize. At least that's what's being told. And those people who came really close to winning, Russ would just come forward and say, "You look tired, you look like you're going to pass out, you need some rest," and then he himself would get the people to quit. Megan Sealing from Nashville wrote a detailed article about McKamey Manor, highlighting the grand claims, but none of it was true. There is no $20,000 prize, no mysterious character, no quicksand, no incinerator, nothing scary. The manor is just about creating a story, an experience, testing personal limits, and pushing boundaries. It is just giving you physical discomfort, nothing else. It is said that Russ used threats or speaking about violence before this whole tour starts so that he could get people scared before they even stepped in. In an interview, a former McKamey Manor actor expressed their frustrations and fears about the operation. They used to work there out of passion for scaring people, but things became overwhelming. The actor said how Russ was a sadistic and manipulative person and he blackmailed his staff. They even admitted to once defending Russ, but now he's just scared due to threats and legal issues. By 2019 or 2020, it seemed as if Russ was running the manor alone. During COVID, hardly people were coming, so it was more of a one-man show. The videos at this time, if you see, they are not that elaborate or not that big and scary. They are somewhat simple because it was just Russ running everything. The Facebook group for McKamey Manor continued to function, and Russ reportedly still took in new people. However, it is said that the wait list, that is almost 17,000 people waiting to get in, it was all a scam. Because many people said that as soon as they applied, the very next day they got in. Over time, the excitement around the manor started to reduce, and that is when the website featured a new page called McKamey Manor Presents Descent, a term that was referred to the then film project. So there they had various documentaries and shows including Dark Tourist and Hunters. It's basically like a new horror film will come, and McKamey Manor promised you that you could experience that horror film on your own. But the truth is that McKamey Manor, which was once said to be grand and terrifying, was now just nothing. People were not that excited about getting into McKamey Manor. People were getting into McKamey Manor, but the excitement that was there back when it first started, it was not there now. The website said that applicants needed to be 21 or older or 18 to 20 with parental consent. They have to complete a sports physical, pass a background check, undergo a Facebook or phone screening, provide proof that they had medical insurance, sign the 40-page waiver, pass a portable drug test on the day of the event, although no one was actually given this drug test. The final project, Desolation, was promoted as a film project or a collection of the Manor's greatest hits. The last updates and videos on the McKamey Manor website and YouTube channel were from the late 2019. The website teased a new show, Descent, for 2020, promising intense mental and physical challenges and personal fears. The site also warned people that if you have some health issues, then don't participate. On the McKamey Manor website, there is also a section for merchandise, including unusual and unsettling items like shirts featuring images of people being tortured. The designs are often difficult to read, but at the same time they were gross, at least the torturous part. By 2020, updates on the website revealed that McKamey Manor was still operating one show per week. The hours of the event kept changing from 8 hours to 10 hours, and sometimes it would just be 6 hours. The site started having this FAQ section where it was written that the manor was handicap accessible, but if there were harsh conditions, then no. The rules were strict: no foul language, weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Guests who violated these rules were asked to leave. The site has a photo gallery, a list of related movies and YouTube videos, and a message cautioning people to be careful before entering. As of late 2019 and early 2020, the manor's presence dwindled. The Facebook group remained, but there was hardly any activity on the website or YouTube channel. Reports suggested that it was mainly because of COVID-19 that people stopped. But the thing is, that excitement was gone. On July 19, 2024, Russ McKamey was arrested and charged with attempted murder by strangulation and domestic assault. The alleged victim is known to Russ, but her identity is remained hidden. But that is not all. In November of 2023, the Tennessee Attorney General's office began an investigation into McKamey Manor. This followed the release of a Hulu documentary called Monster Inside. This documentary exposed the extreme practices that were taking place in McKamey Manor. In exchange, Russ McKamey filed a lawsuit against the Attorney General's office and an $8.4 million lawsuit against Hulu for this documentary. I'll link the documentary below. If you are interested, you can watch it. But I'm going to talk about the documentary here, giving you a brief insight into what happened. In October of 2023, a Hulu documentary called Monster Inside premiered. In this documentary, there were 3 people who had previously gone through McKamey Manor: Melissa, Gabby, and Brandon. Gabby has shared a story in various YouTube videos. I'll link videos of all of these people in the description. They are very long to go in depth into, but you can watch them, and they have actually shared what they have experienced inside the manor. Gabby years ago had posted about her experience on McKamey Manor, where she answered some questions about her experience. And Gabby was not just a participant. After she finished her experience at McKamey Manor, she was called back to work with Russ. She was in charge of handling his social media channels and she even defended Russ. But now she has come forward. This is a brief outline of what Gabby said in her video. Gabby created a video on her experience at the McKamey Manor around 4 years ago. After the Hulu documentary was released, she created a follow-up video. But she said that she couldn't talk much because Hulu has a contract with her and because of that, she can't talk a lot. According to the video that she posted 4 years ago, she said that there was not much info or not many videos on McKamey Manor at that time as there are now. And that is why when she got into McKamey Manor, she had no idea what she was expected to do. She thought that this was just another simple haunted house and she could just go in. Now she signed up and she soon got a notification that these are the available dates. She said that the Facebook group then had around 20,000 people. She got 2 slots. She requested if she could go another day because she has some other work, but Russ said no, she had to fill in on any of these 2 slots. These were some of the experiences that she said that she went through. Waterboarding, spiders on her face, being shoved underwater. And she said that there was a lot of pushing and shoving happening over there. She said it was very painful. She didn't want to quit, but she was forced by Russ to quit, showing that Russ never actually wanted her to complete this process. She also went on to say that she was with another person, but I don't know what happened to the other person. Now, after she completed the tour 4 years ago, she was expected to make a video for Russ. She made this video, and soon after that, Russ asked her if she would be open to being his assistant. And she said yes. Melissa was a fan of Russ's original YouTube videos where he showed people going through McKamey Manor. She wanted an exciting break from her routine life, and that is when she wanted to get into McKamey Manor. Despite warnings from others, Melissa was determined to experience, and before her tour even started, Russ made her send a video of herself in a very scary, distressing situation. Her tour lasted 7 to 8 hours, and she said that it was brutal. Brandon, a former military member, connected with Russ over their shared experiences. He was a fan of extreme horror and he loved the adrenaline rush that he would get with McKamey Manor. For Brandon, the idea of experiencing fear in a controlled environment was important for him. He loved it. Unfortunately, this trust was shattered at his time at the McKamey Manor. The documentary Monster Inside revealed that the professionals in the extreme haunt community view McKamey Manor as a joke. Like, it doesn't even have that many scary things. Some participants, like Laura from 2016, reported being ignored when using the safe word repeatedly. Because of this, she had to go through prolonged torture and even had severe injuries. Now, as I said, at McKamey Manor, tours were grueling, like 7 to 8 hours of torture. People would be physically tortured and exhausted, and they just want to go home. So when they are getting out of this tour and a camera is shoved in their face asking them how was the experience, they would just say, yes, it was a good experience, just to get out of there. The documentary Monster Inside also talks about how Russ enjoyed torturing young women. Before the documentary's release, YouTuber Reckless Ben, I'll link his videos also in the description, he was already investigating McKamey Manor. Ben was known to get into these difficult to access organizations. He would get in and try to find out what they were doing. So in case of McKamey Manor, he and his colleague Danny went undercover to reveal what actually happened behind the scenes in the manor. In his first video, Reckless Ben introduced McKamey Manor and said that he planned to uncover everything that was happening there. Within an hour of applying to experience the manor, Ben was accepted. He got a call with Russ McKamey, and during the call, Russ said that someone had died at the manor during a stunt called Spectrum, and he said that Ben would get to participate in a stunt like that. Russ would then go on to say that there was a 200-yard swim through this underwater haunted house, but it never happened. Russ also said that someone died during the stunt, but Ben didn't believe it. Despite this, Ben still wanted to find out what was happening there. When Ben went to McCamey Manor, he discovered that the haunted house was not what it seemed. Now, the manor may have been a real experience at one point in the past, but today it didn't seem much. Now, it did promise a cash prize, but Ben found that this prize was never given to anyone. Somehow, this game was rigged. While waterboarding, Russ made Ben stop. Even when Ben said that he would continue, that he can do it, Russ made Ben stop, saying that it was not good for him. That is when Ben realized that Russ would never let him win, and so he got his friend Danny Burke to go and do it for him. And Danny was said to be even more determined than Ben. Danny went through exercises and mundane tasks, all boring things, like simple stunts. It felt as if Russ was trying to tire Danny out so that he couldn't go in, but Danny could do it. And finally, Russ realized that Danny was okay with this, and so he stopped Danny too. When Ben realized what Russ was doing, he spoofed Russ's phone number and tricked his assistant into thinking that he had hacked his phone, all while McCamey Manor threatened to sue him for his videos on the manor. According to Reckless Ben's video, he said that he had footages or secrets behind McCamey Manor, such as most of the props are fake, or the snakes are just rubber snakes, or that he would be using plastic straws, etc. When Russ's girlfriend found out that he was cheating on her, she left, taking most of the props with her, because of which Russ was left with almost nothing. Ben also got into Russ's private Facebook group where he promoted his own videos. There was a lot of to and fro that took place between Ben and Russ. Now, Russ, of course, was arrested because of sexual assault charges against 2 women. What happens is yet to be known. And regarding McCamey Manor, Russ McCamey currently faces serious legal issues. He has about $100,000 bail. It's going to be some time before we know exactly what happens. This case has been a long and heavy journey. Everything that happened all these years, the only reason that we know about a lot of these things is because some of the people came forward and spoke about their experiences. But God knows what happened to all the others. How many actually enjoyed and how many were tortured. It looks like the majority were tortured. A big thank you to all my fellow listeners who have been listening and supporting this episode. Your reviews, your listens mean a lot. If you love this episode, if you love the stories that I put out, then please do leave a rating on whichever podcasting platform you're listening from. It would really mean the world to me. Other than this, I also have a YouTube and an Instagram page. I'll link it in the description. Do check it out. I have different stories on Instagram, and I'm planning to put out some short horror stories on YouTube. So do subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned. I am also an author, love fiction stories. If you want to check out my free fiction book, I'll link it in the description. I'll also link my other account in the description where I talk about fiction writing, travel, and I also will soon start sharing fiction stories. So stay tuned. So do follow me there. Thank you so much for everything. That's all for this week. Stay kind, stay safe, and see you next week.